Mulan is one of those Disney films that I looked back on and never really appreciated how much this film is actually a generally good film. There's some really fun Disney films or Disney classics, but there's not really as much fun Disney films. And today we're going to talk about Mulan. Why? Because originally I was going to talk about this film because the new one was supposed to come out this month and it has been delayed. So I thought I wanted to do, it's not an original idea, is talk about some films that are kind of related to other films. Like in April, I'm going to talk about some James Bond films and etc. I'm not going to do this with every film, but some films I'll talk about a select few of films that inspired the film that was either delayed or canceled. It makes it seem like, well, the film is coming out. So we're talking about Mulan, and of course, spoilers for this film if you've not seen it. So Mulan was a film I always remember really enjoying, but it was not one of those films that I remember always going back to. It's one of those Disney films that kind of just faded in my memory, and I didn't really go back to that much. But of course, I rewatched the film, and I gotta say, this film holds up extremely well. It's not a perfect Disney film, which we'll get into, but this is such a powerful and emotional film at times. And there's a lot of sequences that are a bit more mature, a bit more darker than some other Disney films. But first of all, the animation. This is when Disney still did hand-drawn animation with like The Lion King and Aladdin. And this film is gorgeously animated. The animation, not just with the action sequences, but with the musical numbers, especially I'll Make a Man Out of You, really uses this animation to its advantage, which I really do enjoy. So every animation is great. And the main character of Mulan is actually one of my favorite Disney princesses because she's a Disney princess that's not a perfect person. She has faults. She has flaws. She has trouble doing certain things. And I think that's really what makes this character more than just this perfect Disney princess because, yes, she does end up killing some people in this film and actually has these tragic moments with her parents and having to go pretend to be a man and go in the army to fight for her country since her father can't do that because he's, physically disabled to do such a thing. It's a very powerful message, and she's a character who's a lot of fun. The rest of the cast, like Mushu, everyone, he has like more comic relief type things. The soundtrack, especially, not just the musical scores, which I absolutely really love, but the soundtrack itself is absolutely amazing. It's one of Disney's better soundtracks. I think Mulan's problem is it came in that Disney Renaissance with Aladdin, The Lion King, and other films, and I feel like it just kind of got pushed under the rug because of those films. And yes, this is my least favorite out of The Lion King and Aladdin and other films, but I think this film kind of gets pushed back, kind of under the rug because of those films. The action sequences, why I wish there was more, are amazing. The battle sequence in the snow especially is the highlight of the film. The way the animation goes, the way it's pretty intense and brutal, and the shot of our heroes revealing how many soldiers there is of our main bad guy. It's one of my favorite shots in Disney history. It's a fantastically perfect shot. The film is a lot of fun to watch, but it also has a lot more themes and emotions, and I think a lot more Disney films really do, and I think it's a lot more serious and in some of its moments that really make this film feel a lot more fun. It makes it feel fun. It makes it feel kind of organic, and I really do like that about Mulan. The pacing of this film is really fast. It's a very fast-paced movie. The film has a lot more dramatic beats, and I think really my biggest problem, we'll get into the problem, is the film kind of has a tonal shift, and sometimes Mushu, again, I don't hate. He kind of gives kind of natural comic relief, but the part with him talking with the spirit and all that stuff, it feels very Disney. And I know they're not going to make a whole like intense dark war film because Disney's never going to do that. But it just felt rushed. It just kind of felt out of tone with this more darker moment going on with Mulan and her family, and then we get Mushu cracking jokes with some dude. It just felt very Disney. Also, the ending song in this film, not a horrible song, but just a song that hasn't really resonated with me. And knowing that the soundtrack is really great, really wrong. My favorite song is probably I'll Make a Man Out of You. It's fast-paced. It's a great training song. It's a great song to really just get you amped up for what this film is going to happen. It's a lot of fun. This film just has some memorable characters with some really memorable sequences, perfect animation in my mind, and a film with some scenes that feel very Disney, kind of contrast with sometimes in this film. And sometimes this film kind of gets a bit more hate because it's a movie this film really is a much more darker Disney film. There's still a lot of fun jokes for kids to watch, but I feel like this is really one of the more really dark animation films. That's why I'm actually really looking forward to whenever we get to see the live action Mulan, is because that one actually feels like an actual film and there's a lot more material to bring off of with that film. So Mulan is a really fun, awesome, pretty great film with some moments that just feel a bit too Disney, and the last song not being as great. I'm gonna give social my thoughts on Mulan. Tune in for some other reviews like this. I'm gonna review some Bond films on April 1st. This is kind of just a fun thing to kind of fill the gap for this year for some films that I was going to do some segments, but I'm still gonna do just for fun of it. Also, I have a very special video planned for April 1st, so come back for April 1st as well, and to subscribe to tune in. There's videos. If you like this video, you'll probably like other content on my channel. You guys can check out my Instagram at Daniel_Daniel77. You guys can also check out my podcast, the Two Peas in a Pop podcast. You guys can also check out my gaming channel. Also, link in the description. And let me know your guys' thoughts on Mulan. Do you think it's overrated? Do you love it? Do you hate it? As always, guys, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you guys next time. General out.